All right, guys, we have another big, massive fragrance haul today in this long form video. 46 total fragrances. I think I counted right. But find out about the fragrances in this massive fragrance haul coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's Sebastian talking to you about lots of different fragrances that I was recently acquiring. I'm trying to build my fragrance collection. I'm currently at around 6,000. I'm trying to get to 10,000 fragrances. So I'm doing a lot of different haul videos, but also doing these longer form videos without a lot of editing. Just a few cuts here and there to eliminate some of the spaces in the video. But I've got a lot of classic fragrances here, some newer ones as well. And I've been curious about a lot of these fragrances, and so I haven't gotten my nose on a lot of them, obviously. And some I have a long time ago, and since they're classics, I've picked up whatever the latest versions are. There is one, I guess I would call it a vintage fragrance. It was from the 90s. It's a men's fragrance. I'll get to it here in a little bit. But let's get started with the fragrances. So the first fragrance, I've got a list of all the different fragrances, and I counted, but while I was counting the fragrances and putting them on the table here, I had missed one. So this is a first batch, and there's another batch as well. And hopefully it's 46 and I'm not missing anything. But like I said, let's get started with the first fragrance. This is one I've been anticipating. I ordered it, DRAKKAR BLEU. This is from the house of Guy LAROCHE. Somebody was asking me, why do I call it Guy? Well, I'm using the French name for Guy. It's Guy, and that's from people I actually know named Guy. But if you want me to say Guy, I'll say Guy. It's Guy LAROCHE, who had launched DRAKKAR in the 70s. I believe it came out in 72. And then 10 years later, they launched DRAKKAR Noir. So DRAKKAR in 72, 10 years later, DRAKKAR Noir. And DRAKKAR Intense was launched in 22 or 21, somewhere around there. And now we have DRAKKAR BLEU. Haven't smelled this, haven't got my nose on it. I don't have a place that sells it locally, so I ordered it online. And here it is. So what am I going to expect here with this one? The name Blue kind of, I don't know, should I say disappoints me or scares me? I mean, blue fragrances are a bit generic and boring. Ooh. Yeah, this was a bit of a letdown on first spray. So, this doesn't smell anything like DRAKKAR Intense or DRAKKAR Noir or the OG DRAKKAR from the 70s. This is a new DNA. This is kind of taking the fragrance into a modern place and making it very blue. It's a blue fragrance. Well, that's a bummer. I'll review it for you guys after I test it out, but let me know if you've got your nose on DRAKKAR BLEU. Here is the box. So the next fragrance, we have one that I've been wanting to get, and I'm putting together something in the future, but this is a fragrance that I hadn't had in my collection from the house of Frederic MALLE. And it's a fragrance created by Jean-Claude Helena, and there was actually a version of this in the Terre de Hermès collection called Eau Très Fraîche. This is BIGARADE Concentree. So there were two versions of this. There was a Cologne Concentree, Cologne BIGARADE and BIGARADE Concentree. So my Cologne BIGARADE I had used quite a bit, and I didn't have this in my collection. Now I do. And I actually recently smelled it at Neiman Marcus, and I felt really in love with it. It does remind me of Eau Très Fraîche from Terre de Hermès, that collection. But the BIGARADE Concentree is so juicy, so spicy, so gorgeous. There's a watery effect happening here. And this was a tester, as you can see right here. I bought from Joma Shop. So this does remind me a little bit of Eau d'Orange Verte. And Jean-Claude Helena created that, and also Eau Très Fraîche. And did he get inspired by that OG Hermès fragrance, Eau d'Orange Verte? Do you guys get similarities with the BIGARADE Concentree or the Cologne BIGARADE from Frederic Malle? Now, again, I was mentioning Eau Très Fresh was discontinued. This didn't get discontinued. At least I don't think it is, because I just bought this from Joma Shop. But I actually really, really love this. If you're looking for a juicy citrus on the bitter side, definitely check out BIGARADE Concentrate. It is a fantastic fragrance. For the longest time, I thought if I have Cologne BIGARADE, I don't need the BIGARADE Concentrate, but I'm glad I have that because it is much more concentrated. So the next fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is Thomas KOSMALA's Neon number 4 Neon. So I think after this pickup, I will do a video on Thomas KOSMALA. I think you guys have been asking me. In the last haul video I did, I had picked up another one of these, which I wore the other one, by the way. Whew, I got some interesting compliments, mostly positive. So I will do a video on this line, but I don't know this one, but this was one of the fragrances a lot of you were asking me to speak about. Here it is. And this is a house that doesn't get spoken about, and their fragrances are all over the discounters, guys. And I have links to a lot of the fragrances here that I'm going to talk to you about. You can get them from the YouTube shopping tab. So this seems to be fruity, and it's got a bit of a Middle Eastern vibe. And I don't have any notes broken down or taken down, but it does say for top notes, pomelo, yuzu, mandarin. And I said fruity. It does have a melon kind of an effect. Melon and mango is in here. I got more of the mango. And then in the base, we've got aldehyde, solar notes, and ozonic notes. I think this will be a fun fragrance for the summertime, and I kind of like the bottle as well. So I'm getting the melon a little bit now. Melon is not one of my favorite fragrances because they do tend to push marine-ish kind of aquatic touches with it. But it wasn't too strong. So the next fragrance is one that I recently did a short video on. It's MALLE and GOETZ Strawberry. I'm not going to open this one. I bought that as a backup because I did a video on this one. And I actually took it on a trip recently. I wore quite a bit of it. This is it right here. I'll let you know from this. The other one's just a backup. This is a really fun molecular musky fragrance with a kind of a young greenish strawberry note. It's called Strawberry. But this is not that kind of girly, you know, Bath and Body Works like strawberry, cheap smelling. It smells pretty sexy, by the way. And when I was wearing it quite a bit, it kind of reminds me of Zernel Gilly's Disco. A little bit. This is a fruitier version of that, but I think the muskiness and the molecular touches that are in here give me a bit of that vibe. They're not identical, by the way, but it's a great fragrance. One of the best from MALLE and GOETZ. I actually bought this in Canada when I was visiting 2 years ago to Montreal. I bought it from Etiquette, the perfume shop there. And I've recently really fallen in love with it. I love that whole musky molecular touch it has. So I did that short video, and I wanted to buy another bottle just to have on hand in case something happens. Because they had a fragrance called Petitgrain. They discontinued it, and I'm always in fear that they will discontinue fragrances. So let's move on to that vintage fragrance now. One of my followers reached out to me after I had mentioned I'm looking for a bottle of this. They said they have a bottle and they're selling it. It's a 50 ml bottle. This is it right here. It's Opium Pour Homme and EDP. And oh God, this is really good, guys. I have 2 bottles of the EDT. And I think this is a special collector's edition. I think this thing comes apart at the bottom. It's not coming. As you can see, this thing came off. Oh God, I could smell this fragrance. It smells fantastic. It had been a long time since I smelled the EDP. It's a spicy ambery fragrance and an amazing fragrance. The male alternative or the male version of the famous long-standing Opium fragrance. And here with the EDP, it's a lot deeper and a lot richer and also amberier, but there's the spices in there that are really highlighted. And I believe it has star anise as a note here. And it smells super, super, super duper fantastic. Love it. I'm glad to have it. And one of you also internationally had reached out to me. You're going to sell me your bottle as well. I'm still interested. So I had discussed with you on how to proceed. But I'm glad to have the Opium, Pour Homme, and EDP. But I'll definitely take advantage of the other one that you also have for me as well. All right, so let's move on to this fragrance. This is Fred Hayman's Touch for Men. You guys familiar with this? So this is I kind of sometimes look and see who the distributors of certain fragrances are. This one doesn't really make it obvious. It does say Made in USA, Victory International USA LLC. Here's the bottle. Are you guys familiar with this? I like that little red seal on there. I believe that's the H. Well, it's the F and H together, as you can see the logo there. Well, the F makes an H kind of a thing. So it's Fred Hayman, Beverly Hills. I don't know anything about this one. A lot of these are coming without cellophane, by the way. This came without a cellophane. I don't know much about this, as I said. There's a bit of a watery ozonic thing here. I don't know, for some reason I'm picking up violet. Does that make sense to you guys? It's quite spicy. And it seems like a 90s, 2000s fragrance, not like something like this era. I'd have to wear that on skin to understand it, but that is Fred Hayman's Touch for Men, or Pour Homme. Let me know if you're familiar with that. We're going to get to a lot of classic fragrances now. Again, trying to build my collection as big as possible. This is a fragrance that I've wanted in my collection. I've known people or women that have worn this. This is Taboo by Dana. So I don't have any Dana fragrances in my collection. The distributor, it's a Spanish distributor. And this is a long-standing fragrance, Taboo. It's been around for a long time. And this one actually lists the notes in the back of the box right there. So top notes, Italian bergamot, lemon oil. Middle notes, Bulgarian rose, ylang ylang, jasmine absolute. Base notes, patchouli, oak moss, amber, and musk. Who's a fan of this? I think this is definitely one of those fragrances in this style that was very popular. I know this was popular in the 80s. I can't remember exactly when this initially launched. And it does say eau de cologne. Here's the bottle. The cap is very cheap and plasticky. This was very cheap. I don't remember exactly the price, but definitely not more than $30 for this. Ooh, whoa. Okay. There's something honeyed about this. Whoa. The legendary exotic oriental fragrance Taboo is thievery. No, it's not thievery. Is the very essence of sensuality and passion. So I really like what I'm smelling here. I mean, this is a ladies targeted fragrance, but to me, I've smelled fragrances like this that are unisex offerings. It's a very ambery forward fragrance, and there's definitely a honey touch here. This to me smells fantastic. Even to this day, in its current formulation and in eau de cologne concentration, this is delicious. I don't like, sometimes when you smell a fragrance that's like been around for a long time, and you know, you can tell it's gone way through so many reformulations and it smells a bit broken up. It doesn't smell like all joined together. That still smells really good, by the way. So next we've got, I'm looking at my list, another Dana fragrance, but this time for the guys, it's CANOE. CANOE? So another one that has all the notes in the back there. This is a splash bottle. It's not a spray. So it's going to be a mess in here once I get done with all the packages to open up. So this is a fougere, a classic fougere blend with fresh citruses, herbs, and sweet resinous undertones. With its rich legacy of the sea, CANOE is the essence of an adventurous lifestyle. The ultimate sports scent that's confident and classic. So we've got top notes of Italian bergamot and mint leaf, heart notes of sweet moss and cinnamon, base notes of amber, musk, and sandalwood. Who's worn this? I never wore this. My dad wore it. So there it is. So it is a splash bottle, and once again, cheap cap. So this one's going to have to be worn for sure. I personally don't like wearing splash fragrances. I don't get the experience as good as if it's sprayed on, but I definitely wanted to have this on hand for any clients that come in for sniff sessions. Ooh, that's pretty light. I mean, it rings a bell with the smell. Hey, that rhymes, by the way. But that is pretty light, man. Wow. Unlike the TABU, which was amazing, this one seems like water with a little bit of essence. Very, very light concentration. And both of them are eau de cologne. Well, actually, wait a minute. The TABU is eau de cologne. The CANOE is eau de toilette. Splash. Both under Dana, as you can see. But the CANOE is so weak. But it does have a faint reminder of what I remember this fragrance smelling like. There's a waxy undertone here. Wonder what's causing that. Almost like citronella. Weird. I don't remember that being like that, but again, I was younger, much younger when I was experiencing this fragrance. I think it'll develop on skin more, but on the strip, it's very, very light, by the way. So that is CANOE original, it says. And Dana is a Spanish... Wait a minute. I thought it was Spanish. I thought Dana was a Spanish brand, but it does say USA. Dana, made in USA. Anyway, I guess I was wrong. All right, next it is number 9 fragrance. It's Giorgio Beverly Hills for Men. I've been wanting to add this one in my collection for so long because I absolutely love the bottle. And I have the ladies here right after, and I'm going to give you some details about it. Here is the men's Giorgio Beverly Hills. It's an eau de toilette. This is... I thought that this was under Revlon, but it doesn't seem to be. It's quite light. This is not, like, this is current formulation. It's not vintage, obviously. I absolutely love the bottle, though. What do you guys think? I love the design of the bottle. It's pretty light, by the way. Very, very light. And it doesn't seem like it's the best formulation. Again, the TABU so far seems to be really great. The Giorgio Beverly Hills pour homme or for men is quite weak. There is the ladies right there. So this fragrance, I know, caused a lot of problems during the 80s. The shoulder pad days. People used to tell people not to wear this fragrance various places and like restaurants and things. Let's see how strong it is. I haven't smelled it in ages. Here's the bottle. Well, so far I'm not smelling it. I know it's a white floral bomb. I'm getting it. But it is a really weak concentration. Both of these are Wow, this is like total watered down. I wish I can find a vintage. I mean, it gives me an idea of what it smells like. It's like white flowers. I think tuberose is key here from what I remember. But it's so weak and watery. So both of these reformulations are pretty bad, which is kind of what I expected. If I can find vintage bottles of these Giorgio Beverly Hills fragrances. So the women's and the men's, I'll look into them. But they're both eau de toilettes, and I think both of them are under made in Spain, it says here. For the ladies, it says made in Spain. But it's distributed in USA by, I don't know, it doesn't, EA Fragrances CO is what it says. All right, so those are the two Giorgio Beverly Hills fragrances. Next, we're going to a fragrance by ROCHAS. It's FEMME. So I didn't put the ROCHAS fragrances together. I've got 3 of them here. All 3 of them are for the ladies. And these are ones that I've wanted to have in the collection. Let me know if you're familiar with FEMME. It's 100 ml here. I don't remember the prices on these fragrances. I bought them either from... Okay, I used 3 different retailers this time. I went to FragranceNet, Joma Shop, and Walmart. And I'll have the fragrances all linked as much as I can. But obviously some of them, like the YSL Opium pour Homme, I bought through someone, and the DRAKKAR BLEU I bought online from Amazon. So here is FEMME from ROCHAS. Let me know if you're a fan of this one. So I've mentioned my mom used to wear Madame ROCHAS, which I have here. I'll get to it in a little bit. Where is it? Probably in the next batch. Once again, this is kind of an ambery fragrance, but I don't think it's been kept very good, sadly. And I don't know exactly the details on this one. It's a gorgeous bottle, simplistic. It's most likely an amber style fragrance. I can smell some traces of some funk under there. I'm almost getting like the idea of something cumin-like mixed in with the ambery effect. But it's not popping through too much on the strip. But I think this is a kind of, for sure, ambery and musky animalic. According to my nose so far, what I'm smelling from the strip. Let me know if you're a fan of FEMME from ROCHAS. Add a comment below. So we've done that. Let's move on to another iceberg fragrance. In the last haul I did, very long form haul video, there was an iceberg fragrance. I think it was Iceberg pour Homme or Homme. And I bought that one because they are just launching a brand new one. So now we've got Twice by Iceberg. It's an Italian fashion house. Who's a fan of this house? Okay, look at this bottle. This looks like late 90s, early 2000s kind of a looking design. What do you guys think? Am I correct? I mean, I've looked it up, but I just can't remember exactly when this launched. But look at the cap. So this cap is very interesting. Oh, okay, there we go. To me, it looks like a helmet. And it comes off like that. Looks like a policeman or some kind of a soldier's helmet. Or maybe a motorcycle helmet. Okay. Once again, light, but this one seems to have a bit of substance. This is also a 125 ml bottle. It's spicy, but very fresh. Like, I feel like there's a lot of citruses here. There's aromatics. and woods. I'm not familiar with this scent too much, but so far, I mean, I can smell that it's been reformulated, but there's a bit of substance left there. They haven't totally stripped away of its, they haven't totally thinned it out, is what I should say. Yeah, I think that one will come alive even further on skin. I'm kind of happy with that one. Iceberg Twice. Let me know if you're familiar with it. Definitely a fresh, masculine, aromatic, spicy, woody offering. So the next one, it's LOEWE's Pour Homme. This one right here. Somebody had recently asked me if I can do another updated LOEWE video. I might put together a LOEWE video, but the thing is, LOEWE is not represented very well in the States. At least I haven't seen them in any stores in the States. Although when they launched 001 Man and 001 Woman, Nordstrom's and Barney's both had them, but they were quickly removed. And I haven't seen much in the way of LOEWE on my during my shopping trips in any fragrance stores or department stores here in the States. It's always in UK mostly, and then a lot in France as well. And of course, it's a Spanish designer house who just lost its creative director who went on to Dior. But I think Jonathan Anderson, who's the creative director, kind of put the brand on the map, but now he's gone to Dior. I mean, they do have some great fragrances, but this is the first men's fragrance, I believe. I didn't have this in my collection. It's very old school. I think it's from the 70s. Oh yeah, it smells very old school. So it wasn't a different bottle before, and the brand uniform, made all the bottles uniform, is what I should say. And took the colors of the bottles, basically, and moved it over to, like, all very uniform bottles. This, to me, kind of like the Iceberg Twice, but a little better in the way it smells. A bit more heftier. It has more depth. Once again, it's kind of a citric, lemony, kind of like YSL Pour Homme, a bit kind of like Eau Sauvage, that kind of an old school kind of lemony, citrusy, aromatic, citrus chypre style fragrance. I actually really, really like this. It's old school, don't get me wrong. It's quite spicy as well. There's a zing to it. So that's LOEWE Pour Homme. Yeah, maybe I'll look into doing... I don't have too many LOEWE fragrances, unfortunately. But I'll look into doing a LOEWE video. But the next fragrance is from the house of Carolina Herrera, 212 Men. Now, I wore this in the late 90s, early 2000s. But it's been so long since I've gotten my nose on it. And this is definitely one of the more popular fragrances. I think it launched in the late 90s. If you caught my video with Dahlia, I did a video, a storage unit haul, storage unit haul video, where I was able to, I ended up with bags of fragrances. There was a woman's version of this in that video, a vintage, but this is a modern, current formulation of the men's version. This is a freshie, from what I remember. And I think they've kept the formulation pretty good. It's been a while since I've worn it. Is it ozonic? It's got a watery effect in there, and also a bit metallic, minerally, herbal, aromatic, spicy. But it's a great freshie, I think. Yeah. There's maybe a little bit of aldehydic touch in there as well. What do you guys think? So I wore my very first Carolina Herrera fragrance with the OG men's fragrance in like 1992, 93, somewhere around there. And I think it took me a while, like almost 10 years to wear this one. And I haven't worn too many Carolina Herrera fragrances. There's been a few here and there, but this brings back memories. 212 Men. But if you haven't caught that storage unit locker haul video, please go catch that video. There's a lot of great men's and women's vintage fragrances that we uncover completely surprise mystery of the fragrances in the bags. But moving on to the house of Courrèges. This is Blanc de Courrèges. This house actually is currently selling over at Lucky Scent, but not everything. I think the brand was relaunched and rebranded with their fragrances, and they're not distributed widely, although I bought at the discounters, but some of their more niche offerings are selling at Lucky Scent. Some of them are really good as well. I don't remember this one. I wanted to buy it because I like the shape of the bottles. Look at this. And this is their famous logo. It's a fashion house. I think they were popular or they were very famous in the 60s. Is this their decantable bottle? No. This to me, if it has the word Blanc, it's white. So there's that kind of a pure, clean kind of a experience is what I'm going to get from it. I can't remember it, but like a year or two ago, I sampled a lot of the Courrèges fragrances at Printemps in Paris. And those are the ones that Lucky Scent carries. I don't think they carry this one. But this smells musky, clean, maybe slightly fruity, maybe aldehydic, spicy. I think it's for those folks that don't like a lot of substance with their fragrances. And they want something clean and a scent, but not one that's gonna, make people stop and ask them what they're wearing and things like that. So that is Blanc de Courrèges. Let me know if you're familiar with that. Here we got a very old school fragrance from the brand, not the brand. Yeah, it's Revlon. This is Revlon's CIARA. You guys familiar with that? Let me know if you're familiar with this. I remember this being very, very popular in the 80s. Ooh, there's a color to this juice. When I was very young, I worked at a Kmart. I don't know if anybody knows this chain. I don't think it's around anymore. And I worked in the beauty, cosmetics, drugs, and all that kind of department. And I had access to all the fragrances there. And this was one that was purchased a lot. We had a lot of the Coty fragrances there and things like that. So this to me smells like an amber once again. This is eau de parfum concentration as well. And I think it's kept pretty decent. There's a honeyed, waxy kind of experience here as well. I don't know the exact notes breakdown for this, but it's decent in the quality that I received here from this. But, when you compare it to a lot of current fragrances, this is going to smell old school for one, and also not the best quality. But I think it's still pretty popular. I think ladies like it. And I know it's a feminine targeted release, but I said it once before with Dana TABU. There's unisex offerings that smell like fragrances like these now. So a man shouldn't be afraid to pull these out and wear them. Both of these. I mean, the TABU is much better than the CIARA, but I think the CIARA smells pretty good as well. And you'll notice the reformulations. It's not the finest. Anyway, that's CIARA from Revlon. The next fragrance is MAUBOUSSIN fragrance. This house is amazing, guys. I'm going to do a video on this house. I don't have everything of the brand. It's a jewelry house from France. But, again, I don't know if they're connected to the jewelry. There's Reminiscence, who's also a jewelry house. They separated. And I don't know if the jewelry house still exists there. This might be kind of similar, but I'm not 100% sure. But they have some of the best fragrances for really budget prices. If you are someone that wants fragrances that are not like your everyday designer offerings, look up this house and, check out some of their fragrances. And I've done videos on the fragrances of this house. Star and Star for Men are both really quality offerings, and you can get them really inexpensively. And then Un Histoire, the Homme Irrésistible. And this is Un Histoire, the Femme Sensuelle. So I've been a big advocate of the Un Histoire, the Homme Irrésistible. I never got my nose on this one. Both of them came out around the same time. And finally, I have a bottle. If you're a fan of Mauboussin, let me know. There was a fragrance in the... I think, like, when I first had my first YouTube channel on fragrances... This is my second channel, if you guys didn't know. And I'm actually on my 10th year this year of the second channel. I've been doing videos for 13 years. 13 years in August this year it'll be. But this month is the 10th year anniversary of my channel. There was a fragrance that I had discovered probably around 12 years ago called M Generation from this house. And nobody was talking about it on YouTube. And I started talking about it. Everybody started buying it. Then it completely ran out and, you know, it was discontinued. But it was a great, spicy, woody, incensey fragrance. Let me know if you're familiar with M Generation. But this is Mauboussin Une Histoire de Femme Sensuelle. Similar bottle to the men's, but obviously this is white and the men's is black. I did not look up what the notes breakdown for this is, so I don't know what to expect. But once again, since it's white, is it clean and pure? It's powdery. I'm also getting rose or something fruity in here. There's a bit of a makeup vibe, but also a creamy undertone, but quite powdery. It's kind of reminding me of like a makeup powder, but rosy. So if you like powdery fragrances, check that one out. This is Mauboussin Une Histoire de Femme Sensuelle, as you can see right there. Let me know if you're familiar with Mauboussin and the fragrances I spoke about. Do you enjoy this house? So the next fragrance is from a house called Richard James. It's Savile Row. So I bought this, and this is how it was delivered. Look at it, in a pretty bad shape. I think this is one of the ones I bought from Walmart. And I think Walmart is all third-party sellers, so it's a bit dirty. So this is Richard James Savile Row. I looked it up and read some good reviews on it, and I don't know how good this is going to be. This exuberant fragrance derives its freshness from Italian bergamot and mandarin, clean starched shirt accord, fresh Chinese ginger, living green tea leaves, and petitgrain citronnier. Tunisian rosemary and Egyptian basil oil excite the senses with a peppery, clean feeling. A melange of spices and florals, including Guatemalan cardamom and coriander seed oils, evening dew tuberose, lily of the valley, Moroccan rose, and lavender, absolute and lush warmth. Keeping the fragrance grounded in classic masculinity are soft suede, Indonesian patchouli, Indian sandalwood, tobacco absolute, amber, Haitian vetiver, sensual musk, and oak moss. It's a pretty bad presentation. Well, not the presentation, but the way I received it is. So it's warm and spicy and very ambery. Lots of woods. It smells like a 90s kind of woody, spicy fragrance. I don't know when this came out. So sometimes people recommend things to me and I write them down. I have an online note app. And sometimes when I'm looking at to buy things, I go there and check out, see what... And I don't know anything about this brand, Richard James. Let me know if you're familiar. But yeah, this is a in pretty bad condition. But yeah, let me know if you're familiar with that. But the next fragrance is a tester from the house of Jill Sander, and I've got two Jill Sander fragrances here, not together. This is Sun Men in the Parfum concentration. So I did smell this at that German store, Mueller, I think that's what it's called. And, you know, I'm curious about this house because they just launched their exclusive fragrances, 5 of them, and they were pretty quality. So I smelled several fragrances there, and I wanted to have the Sun Men Parfum, and I have it now. I've spoken quite a bit about Sun Men, the OG in Eau de Toilette, but I've been waiting to get this one, and I finally have it. But just like the Parfum of Youp for men, this one is not so exciting. It has a bit of a cheap smell to it. And it's kind of bordering metallic as well. It smells a bit like every other men's designer offering, which not very exciting. The OG in EDT is quite good. It's a fresh, kind of creamy, sunny, solar kind of fragrance. This one smells a bit too much like other designer fragrances. I know for a fact that Jill Sander is under Coty. But anyway, that's Jill Sander Sun Men Parfum Concentration. So another brand that I wanted to build my collection with is called Trussardi. And I bought both types of Uomo. So this is Trussardi Uomo in Eau de Toilette. And this is Trussardi Uomo in Eau de Parfum. But this does say Livrario Collection Limited Edition. So let's see what the differences are between the two. Let me know if you're familiar with Trussardi. It's an Italian fashion house, obviously. And they just launched, was it Trussardi? I think Trussardi just launched a Parfum concentration of a fragrance. I could be wrong, though. I think it's a different brand. I think Trussardi launched something different. But this is Uomo. This is a classic bottle. I think this is one of their older fragrances. Ooh, that smells pretty sexy. I don't know when this Uomo came out, but that's good. It smells, it's not too beefy. It smells a bit light. But that is really good. It doesn't smell too old school. Can you guys remember when this Uomo came out? I want to wear that, but I gotta continue with the fragrances. But that's quite good. Wow. Super sexy. Very, very classy and gentlemanly. Okay, let's try the Trussardi Uomo and EDP, but Livrario Collection Limited Edition, as you can see right there. Who's a fan of this house? I know they have a higher end, you know, like a private blend collection, which this box seems to look like it comes from that collection. And I think, yeah, maybe it does. It's got that. All right, let's see if this smells like the first one I smelled from Trussardi. That's a cool cap. Pretty heavy duty as well. So this is Eau de Parfum. It seems a bit subdued compared to the other, but I do smell that it's denser. This doesn't, it kind of smells like the other. But this seems a bit more modern, but not as loud as the first one. I kind of like the first one more, but I don't remember the differences between the two. But that first one smells so good. The Eau de Toilette. I'm going to have to wear that after this video. But here is Trussardi Uomo, the Eau de Parfum Livrario collection. Let me know if you're a fan of the house and if you've sampled any of their higher end collection fragrances. But moving on to another, well, no, I'm not moving on to another. This is a fragrance from the house of Lanvin. This is Arpège. So this is a long-standing fragrance. I do have a vintage bottle of MAUBOUSSIN from Lanvin that a neighbor of mine gave me because the mom had it and the mom is no longer wearing it. It's in this most beautiful presentation. I'll have to show you guys one day. It's currently up above there. You can probably see a little bit of it. But here is Arpege. This is a highly regarded fragrance, but I don't know the current formulation, how good or how bad it's going to smell. Oh, that's actually pretty good. Ooh, am I supposed to get aldehydes? I feel like this is kind of warm and ambery and also aldehydic at the same time. Something has a bit of an aldehydic experience there. But that smells good. I know it's old school. I know it's kind of not like the OG. Definitely been around for so long. It's been reformulated and all that, but I think they've kept it in a pretty decent condition. This is, it's an eau de parfum concentration. Yeah. Let me know if you're a fan of this, guys. Add a comment below. Lanvin, yeah. What are they doing now? Do you guys remember Avant Garde from Lanvin? I remember when I first got into YouTube, that was another fragrance that was very popular, and also, you know, it was at the discounters for about $30, $40, and, you know, it just completely ran out and, you know, discontinued and things like that. I have a bottle still, and it came in one of the most gorgeous bottles. So let's move on to this fragrance next. This is Anucci. You guys familiar with this? This was also a fragrance that was recommended for me to pick up many times on the channel, and I wrote it down to come back to. I thought, you know, let's do it during a haul, and here it is. I finally have it. I hear great things about this men's fragrance. There's a plastic thing in there to hold the cap together, and here is Anucci. A golfer. Something to do with golfing? Who wears this? Let me know. I've got high hopes for this because I've heard it's quite good. Wow, the cap comes off so smooth. Wow, it just slips off. Like a, I don't know what. I don't know, like it just completely like comes off so beautifully. Ooh. What is that? It's kind of lemony, but waxy lemony. Beeswax? Wait, is there galbanum here? Because it's kind of green and lemony, but also waxy at the same time. Oh, that's good. That's really good. I love that. Oh my God, this is giving me memories, scent memories that I'm not remembering. What are those scent memories? Jesus. It's like a green galbanum, but wait a minute. It's giving me Amouage Beach Hut Man vibes. I think that has galbanum, it has mint, and it also has ivy. Does this have ivy? Does this have anything to do with ivy? Wow, that's totally reminding me of Beach Hut Man. Now, I'm not saying it's identical. It's reminding me, giving me the Beach Hut Man vibes in a vintage classic way. That's actually good. Quite good. I like that little plastic thing it comes with. Oh. Let me know if you're a fan of this Anucci. I guess it's just Anucci EDT, because that's what it says. Anucci Eau de Toilette. All right, moving on to the next page of fragrances. It's a total of 46 fragrances. See, I had miscounted one, so I had to add it on the list. So moving to the house of Revlon once again, this is Jean 2. This is another fragrance that was very popular in the 80s. It's a feminine release, giving me a bit of a Gloria Vanderbilt vibe. And come to think of it, I did forget one, now that I said Gloria Vanderbilt, because there is one of those in here as well. It's a vintage one. So let's try Jean 2. Ooh, that's pretty light. Now this reformulation is not as good as CIARA from the same house. Oh, that's pretty bad. It says cologne spray, but what concentration is that? Because this one says eau de parfum, CIARA eau de parfum, but Jean 2 says cologne spray. Yeah, this is really, really bad. This is probably the worst out of all of the ones I've bought. That's a disappointment. But I'm looking forward to this next one. This is Parfum Gray, Homme de Gray. Are you familiar with this? They don't make men's fragrances anymore. But I remember seeing this at the discounters for a long time when they were clearing these out. But now I have one in my collection. It does seem like it's a green-leaning fragrance. But let's smell it. Oh, it's quite peppery. It's spicy for sure. And there's a freshness around it. Huh. It's giving me Sheeper vibes. Kind of like, what did I smell here that kind of reminded me of this? The ICEBERG and the LOEWE. Kind of in that same ballpark. Very astringent, citrusy, fresh, but with aromatics. Yeah, I don't remember this, and I never wore it, but it's very, very classic for sure. I love the bottle and packaging. Really love the presentation. It's a 75 ml bottle too. Let me know if you're familiar with this. Homme de Gray from the house of Gray. They're known for cabochard. You guys familiar with that? All right, this one's gonna shock everybody. Pinot Silvestre. You guys familiar with this? The original fragrance from nature. Created in the 50s from a blend of 12 natural essential oils, Pinot Silvestre is still being made in Venice with the same dedication, following the most rigorous methods to meet the strong, irresistible need for nature inherent to every one of us. That's what it says on the back. The purest tears trickle onto the pine cones, releasing the fresh scent of the pine needles, intense and balmy fragrance. Anyway, it is an eau de toilette. It's been so long that I've gotten my nose on this. Here, we'll try it again. For a while there, they launched some flankers of this line, and they're completely gone now. Here. I know a lot of guys have probably worn this. Well, okay, it's developing. At first, it's more like a carpenter's shop. The dusty wood chips and sawed woods kind of smell. But where is that kind of piney forest smell that I really love in? I mean, it's kind of developing like that, but it's not what I remember. Yeah, it's not what I remember, sadly. Oh well. I mean, it's definitely kind of woody, spicy, but I'm not getting that greenness that I love when you go to a pine forest. Anyway, that's Pinot Silvestre. Let me know if you're familiar with that one. Is that how it currently is supposed to smell? Add a comment below. But moving on to another Jill Sander fragrance. This is Jill Sander number 4. This is the only size I could find at the discounters. It's a 30 ml bottle. Cute bottle. Let me know if you're familiar with this one. It's a white floral balm. It's tuberose for sure. It smells like an 80s fragrance. I don't know when this came out, but totally smells like an 80s fragrance. It's sweet and ambery as well, but tuberose is really, really prominent. There might be other floral notes. I kind of like it, actually. I mean, giving me a bit of Lulu Cacharel vibes. Are you guys familiar with that one? There's Jill Sander number 4. All right, we've got... In the last video, I spoke a lot about Jacques Bogart fragrances, and I bought 2 more to feature in this haul. Maybe I'll do a video on Jacques Bogart. This is the Jacques Bogart one-man show Emerald Edition. It does say highly concentrated again. It's an eau de toilette. They do make some pretty potent fragrances. And this is a green bottle, as you can see. And I've got one more. Whoops. All right. Ooh. This is green in a violet way. Green and ozonic, but very fresh. Not old school at all, like the previous editions that I spoke about. Like the red, the ruby red, I think it was, and the oud. This doesn't smell like those. This is like very modern. Anybody into violets, ozonic fragrances will probably be happy with One Man Show Emerald Edition from the house of Jacques Bogart. Okay, we've got a few more feminine fragrances here. We've got Rocha Tocade. So I bought 3 Rocha fragrances. And I think the last one is Madame Rocha, and that will be in the next batch of fragrances I bring out. Are you guys familiar with Tocade? We already spoke about Femme, and now we've got Tocade. This is a long-standing brand. They're still releasing fragrances. Oh. Well, it's not as bad as Femme, but it is very, very reformulated. There's a candy sweetness here. But once again, it's kind of ambery. It's an eau de toilette. Let's see, is the other one eau de... They're both eau de toilette fragrances, as you can see on the bottom there. This one too. But I like this one a little more than the other. Both of them seem very reformulated. I'm picking up a little more here than Femme, but I kind of like the style of Femme more because it's got that kind of musky, ambery effect. Let's see how Madame Rocha is going to be, because that is a fragrance that my mom wore, as I keep mentioning. But the next fragrance is from the house of Chopard. It's Happy Lemon Dolce. This is one that I've had on the list to get. I love lemony fragrances. Whoa, this cap is off. Oh boy, what the hell is that just came out of there? What the heck? What is that? Whoa. I mean, something is a bit leaky. Oh, I wonder if that was the glue that held this thing together. That's weird. Well, that clicks on, this doesn't. So am I gonna have to glue this together? Weird. That's the problem with buying from discounters. It's a bit complicated. This one I think I got from FragranceNet. I know I've actually asked them to return things. They've done replacements, but it's really difficult to get a hold of them. I bought a guest fragrance for the ladies, the cherry one. It came leaked, it was halfway. I contacted them via email and they didn't reply, and I tried a couple times. I didn't have time to call them. It's been a while since I bought it, but here, this, I don't know what the heck is wrong with this. It's not been sprayed, but it has been leaked. There's weird stuff, residue, like a kind of a, ooh, that's yum. Really yummy. Lemony sweet, but not uber sweet. That's delicious. There's some like gummy things on there. I think it's the residue of this stuff that came out of there. It's stuck on the bottle here and there. But that stuff is delicious, guys. Lemon Dolce. Happy by Chopard Lemon Dolce. Let me know if you're familiar with this fragrance. And what should I do with the cap? It's a bit runny. That's the situation. And I think the cap must have been held up by that gunk that I took off. And so that's what's causing all the spillage and leakage. Anyway, Happy Lemon Dolce from Chopard. That's actually really delicious. So this next fragrance I had to get because my dad wore it and I wanted to have a bottle. It's Royal Copenhagen. Memories when my dad wore this in the 80s. And at that time, I didn't really care for it. I don't know why I didn't care for it. And let's see what I'm going to think about it now. Probably, you know, reformulated and not as good as what it was like back then. But this is distributed by Parlux. Isn't that the same distributor as Animal? This is another splash bottle. Oh God, it totally brings back memories of the bottles when they were like this. So this version was so tough to find. There's another version I have. I'm glad I have it now because I think this is going to be less and less available because I had to hunt this one down. I think I got it from Amazon. No, I think I got this one from Amazon. Actually, I like it, but it's very thin. Very, very thin. This is an eau de cologne concentration. I think it's a bit like a fougere-like fragrance. And then there's the Royal Copenhagen Musk. There's a lot of, you know, cellophane on the floor. So I never got my nose on the musk. This is also a splash. My God, turning the caps like that and the sound it makes brings back memories of when I was young, doing that with my dad's bottles. Oh, I like this one. Both of them are pretty weak, guys. Since they're eau de cologne fragrances, I think these are not going to last much. And I kind of like the musk a little more because it has a bit more substance. Maybe it was more of a recent launch compared to the OG. But for me, the OG brings back memories of when my dad was wearing this. But I kind of thought that he was wearing spray bottles. Anyway, there you go. All right, next we've got Jacques Bogart One Man Show 24K. So these are the two different ones that I bought from Jacques Bogart. They used to have 2 fragrances. One's called French Riviera. One's called Arabian Nights. I have one of those two. Now I'm forgetting. I got to pull it out. Here is the 24K. I really enjoyed I think it was the Arabian Nights that I had, now that I think about it. Wish I can get my hands on the French Riviera. Ooh, this one goes back to the old school. This is pretty much old school for sure. But this doesn't seem as intense as the other. This is Eau de Parfum. It doesn't seem as like loud as the Ruby one and the Oud one. It does say highly concentrated up there. Eau de Parfum, obviously, right there. Who's a fan of this one? It's definitely got the old school vibe. Compared to the Emerald Edition, this is definitely old school. Like the Emerald Edition versus the 24K, night and day difference. They're so different. All right, so next, a house that I have never spoken about on the channel, but I remember it. It's Prince Machiavelli's New Musk for Men. There's a first for everything. This one says clean scent, but very sexy. I do consider musks to be sexy. This one also says fresh cologne spray. And it says distributed by PDC brands. Look at the bottle. It's got an 80s look to it. So the name is just stuck on. The bottle is glass, plastic cap, but it's just a label that they stuck on there. All right, let's see. Very light. Well, this is like a white musk. It's clean, shower fresh. I mean, this will do for someone that's looking for insanely light fragrances that are on the clean side. You spray this on after a shower, you have that very refreshing feeling and clean washed experience if you're wearing it, you know, in the hot days and, you know, you're walking around and you want to get that shower fresh, clean feeling. That should satisfy. That is New Musk for Men from the house of Prince Machiavelli. All right, the next fragrance is from the house of Façonnable. I ordered a tester. Now, it's been a while since I've put my nose on this one, but I remember it came in a canister. Just when I have to like rip or something. It's like vacuum sealed. Let me know if you're familiar with this. It comes in a canister. Here it is. It's a tester. So, a fougere aromatic, top notes, peppermint, rosemary, heart, geranium, nutmeg, base, sandalwood, cedar, oak moss. I think this was launched in the 80s. I kind of like this bottle, by the way. I believe this is their first fragrance. And it's basically men's clothing. I don't know if they have women's clothing. For a long time, I still saw their fragrances. I'm sorry, their clothing at Nordstrom's. Oh, wow. It's been so long I've smelled this. This seems to be more of a amber fougere style. There's a creamy undertone here. But no, it has the old school vibes. It's got the 80s vibe. But it's giving me a bit of creaminess under there. Like there's like amber under there or something. Oh, it's the sandalwood. Sandalwood always has that kind of creamy effect. And sometimes it depends on the kind of sandalwood they use, obviously. But this one gives me those kind of creamy undertones. Very light, reformulated, obviously, but that's Façonnable House of Fragrances. Just Façonnable EDT. All right, finally, Madame Rocha. This is the one that I've been mentioning. This has a lot of meaning to me because I used to see my mom wear it as a little kid. More meaning, not as much as YSL's Rive Gauche for women and the YSL Opium, and then later Poison by Dior, but this one definitely has meaning because my mom wore it. This is the bottle right here. So let's see how this one is. I have a feeling it's gotten watered down, but this is a gorgeous looking bottle. And I believe Pierre Dinand created this bottle. It's his style. If you didn't catch my videos with or about Pierre Dinand, please go catch those videos. It's a classic, but it's gotten major butchered. Does it only come in eau de toilette? Because this is eau de toilette. This seems like a giant bottle, even though it's 100 ml. I think it was an aldehydic fragrance, but look at the cap. That's a bit disappointing. I think it's going to be better to find vintage of this to talk about rather than that, because that seems really diluted and watered down. But moving on to Puig Agua Brava. Do you guys know this one? Oh God, my uncle wore this one. Might have been, my dad might have even worn it too. This to me reminds me of the color scheme for Quorum, and it's also under the same brand, Puig. Puig is not only a brand, but also a distributor. They distribute Carolina Herrera, Dries Van Noten, Byredo. Ooh. This one smells great. It's once again in that style of spicy, lemony, citrus sheeper kind of offering. But that's good. Very classic though. I mean, don't be like, okay, you only wear modern fragrances and it sounds great to you, but you'll buy it and it'll be like so old school, because this is pretty old school. But if you're into those kind of fragrances and you like fresh, spicy, lemony kind of astringent fragrances, this will satisfy. I actually really love this bottle. What do you guys think? Some of these came, without cellophane, some with cellophane. So, okay, we're moving on to Coty. I've got several fragrances from Coty. This is Vanilla Musk. These all came without cellophane. I don't know what Coty's doing with their fragrances, but I wanted to get a bottle of Emerald. It does not exist anymore. But I'm buying 4 Coty fragrances here. Ooh, that is yum. That is really yum. I didn't know it was so good. That's quite delicious, guys. Oh my God. Very, very vanillic, warm, gooey, powdery, ambery, musky. That's really unbelievably good. For the price point, this is superb. Vanilla Musk from Coty. Let me know if you're familiar with that. This one I wore in the late 80s. Aspen from Coty. You know, if you're familiar with Aspen, this was like cool water, those kind of ozonic, fresh, watery fragrances. I like it. There's a bit of metallic sharpness, but it's very fresh. To me, this is giving me Aspen vibes when it's cold and snowy out because there's an ozonic watery effect happening here. So there's a freshness. Oh man, this brings back memories. It was the very late 80s. After I had graduated from high school, I was wearing Aspen. It was my answer to something like Cool Water, but it was readily available. It was not very expensive. I can't believe how good this is. Coty's Aspen. Let me know if you're familiar with that. This one I never wore. Musk for Men from Coty. I mean, two Coty fragrances that I'm really, really happy with. Vanilla Musk and Aspen. I can't believe how good those two are. Let's see how good Musk for Men or Musk pour Homme is. This brings back memories of the 70s, the disco era. That name. This one's quite dark, juice-wise. This one's also quite good, but not as good as the other two. I think this one needs my skin. It's cologne spray once again. I like it. It's a musk. It's got a super sexy vibe about it. And I love the bottle. Totally nostalgic fragrance. Takes me back to the 70s. I think this came out in the 70s. It's not an 80s fragrance, correct? I'm drawing a blank with the year of release. To me, it's visually the 70s. Musk for Men from Coty. I'm surprised how good the Coty fragrances are. And here is one that I totally remember in the 90s. It's Gravity. I think this came out in the early 90s. Right there. Who wore Gravity? Who is wearing Gravity now? I did not wear this one, but I really remember this one. It's quite spicy, peppery. Is it once again violet? What is that? There's a freshness about it, like almost like violet leaves once again, but it's quite spicy with the peppery effect happening. I think this is good too. I mean, when I'm saying these are good, I'm not saying they're like smelling like the OG and smelling perfectly fine. You can notice there's some problems with them. But between all of the fragrances, the 4 Coty fragrances, especially Vanilla Musk and Aspen, are in fine condition. You can totally wear them now. And if you're looking for a vanilla, yum. Okay, let's move on to this one that my dad wore as well. I received it like this. Pierre Cardin. This was one of my dad's all-time favorite fragrances. So I haven't kept up, and I haven't smelled this since the 80s. I remember he wore in the 70s and the early 80s, and I moved on. How does it smell these days? Large bottle, because visually it's going to look great standing on some kind of a shelf. Oh. Wow, that's pretty potent for eau de cologne. Oh man, that's good. Boy, oh boy. I remember when my dad wore this. I was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, somewhere those years. He might have even wore this earlier in the 70s, but I remember visually seeing this bottle, not this big, seeing this bottle, him wearing, I think he had a splash bottle. He didn't have spray bottle, but I can't believe how good that is. That's delicious. Who's kept up with all of the flankers in the Pierre Cardin collection of fragrances? That's really good. I'm surprised how good it is. This is distributed by Parlux once again. We had a Parlux here a little bit ago. Okay, next we've got two more recent fragrances, I believe. This is Cheruti Image. And then I'm going to get to fragrances that I forgot to add to the list. So we definitely have over 50 fragrances in this video. But this is a fragrance I had written down to pick up a while ago. I finally am doing it here for this haul video. Look at that. So it's kind of frosted and it's got all that writing here. And then the sprayer looks kind of very interesting. Giving me slight vibes of Azzaro Chrome, but it's very fresh, spicy aromatic, very clean, very light. I think it's somebody that wants something very, very fresh, a bit sharp and metallic, ice cold, summertime fragrance. That's Cheruti Image. Then Davidoff Adventure. Who's familiar with this fragrance? Who's familiar with the Cheruti Image? All right, let's see. I haven't looked up notes and everything for these fragrances. Ooh, I like the way that smells. Ooh. It's kind of got a sporty vibe. Well, adventure. It's fresh, but there's warmth under there. There's a spiciness. Not so much citruses, but there's warmth, but it's freshened up. Ooh, I like that a lot. Once again, this is light wearing, like it smells like it's very light and thin. This is Eau de Toilette concentration. That's going to smell great in the heat. Really will. Wow, that's really good. Much better than that Cheruti Image. Although I don't hate the Cheruti Image. Smell-wise, I prefer the Davidoff Adventure. So the list, that's number 44. Then we got number 45. How about this? This is, well, it's no longer Fabergé. I bought this one on Amazon, so I guess I forgot that I bought this one on Amazon. But this used to be Fabergé. My dad wore this. My uncle wore this. They had these bottles and the little thingy on their. Let's see. How do you open this? Watch me break it. Whoa, what the hell? Oh, it's sealed. That's one reason why it's not opening. But who remembers this fragrance? Okay, it's both sides are sealed. I'm gonna do that. I remember this thing used to just dangle. It wasn't stuck on like this. Because right now, there's something white holding it like some kind of a tape adhesive. But this brings back memories. Once again, 70s and 80s. This is a Fougère. It's definitely not what it used to be. This is pretty bad, actually. Yeah, it's butchered big time. This is like mostly for the bottle. This is not something you would wear now. I mean, sartorial from the house of Penhaligon's. Kind of smells like what Fabergé Brut smelled like. But this smells pretty bad. Disappointing. Really, really disappointing. But I can't believe how good the Pierre Cardin smells, though. Honestly, that Pierre Cardin, wow. But this Brut, no. I would not wear the Brut. But that Pierre Cardin, I would wear. Let me know if you're familiar with Fabergé's Pierre Cardin. Fabergé's Brut. And again, it's no longer Fabergé, guys. I think Fabergé is out of business, isn't it? Anyway, as far as fragrances go, at least. So I wrote down the last fragrance here because I forgot to count. But then I went to go and grab some of the other fragrances. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. In addition to the Bulgari Pour Homme, which is a tester, by the way. So it's a total of 51 fragrances in today's video. And this one I wanted to have, I think this is a newer version. I think it was discontinued for a while and they brought it back. I remember the Eau de Toilette. I had a friend that wore it. It smelled so good. I never wore this personally, and I also don't know the difference between an EDP and an EDT and an EDP, but I bought the EDP because I heard that it had come back. It's a tester. I bought this from Joma Shop, I believe. Oh, that's good. Oh my, that's good. So I think it's a tea focus fragrance. Oh, wow, that's good. Yum. It's a tea focus. Like, Bulgari does a lot of tea focused fragrances. Even Bulgari Black, which I'm hoping they bring back one day, was a tea focused fragrance, but it was leathery and smoky. This is a lot more fresh, but oh man, that's good. That is so good. I'm glad that some of these turned out to be really great fragrances. And again, this is a tester. I'm glad to have it. I mentioned this one earlier. This was actually gifted to me by my neighbor. This is Gloria Vanderbilt. It's a 15 ml vintage. I looked up the, when it was manufactured, and it was the early 2000s. This came with body lotion in a packet like that. This says it's distributed by Cosmere. As you can see back there. Yeah, it's pretty substantial here. I don't know if they make, I think they still make this. This is, like over 20 years old. It was like 2001 when they manufactured this. It's another one of those ambery kind of amber floral fragrances. But it's been around for a long time. I don't know when it initially launched. Was it 60s or 70s? I remember ladies wore a lot of this in the 80s. All right, this one also purchased for this haul. This is Etienne Egner's Private Number for Men, but it came used and all dirty and gunky. I don't know, it's not showing up the gunky on the front there, but that's how it came, not full. It's got like something sticky on it, so it must have spilled. And this one seems turned. Private Number for Men. It smells like ambery fresh fragrance, but with a lot of spices. But sadly, the initial blast is a bit off. It's a bummer. I think I would enjoy that fragrance. So this one, another gray, Perfumes gray, and it's a tester. And sadly, I don't have a cap. So if anybody has a cap for this fragrance, please let me know. It's one of the most gorgeous bottles, as you can see right here. This is a Fougère once again. And again, this is no longer I'm looking for a cap because it's a tester without a cap. Oh, I love this one. This smells so good. It was launched in the early 2000s. Oh man, it's good. It's a really spicy, aromatic, fresh. It's a bit old school, but it was launched in the early 2000s, wasn't it? Because it has a bit of old school vibes, but there's like a menthol eucalyptus kind of vibe here that's really, really invigorating and fresh and bold. That is so good, guys. So, so good. Cabaret from Grey. Again, they are known for cabochard, but if you guys have a cap, let me know, guys. I'm looking for a cap for this. Really would love a cap. And then the next two fragrances are discontinued fragrances. Again, this one sadly is not in the best condition. This is Narciso Rodriguez for him, the OG. This does smell a bit turned, unfortunately. Yeah. You can tell it's turned. This was probably kept in the heat. Bummer. So bummer. I mean, it gives you the idea of the OG, but once you get past that kind of turned. That was a fragrance created by Francis Kurkdjian. Definitely so potent and intense. It's a unique modern take on a fougere men's fragrance. It was Violet Leaves once again. I guess this is the theme of this video, Violet Leaves, and I'm kind of wearing the color too. Well, not the color of Violet Leaves, but the color of this. It's a bummer this is bad, but I do have a really nice kept condition of that fragrance. And then the last fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is another discontinued fragrance and hard to find. And I was gifted this by my friend, is Amen Pure Tonka. Amen Pure Tonka is Mugler's flanker to the long-standing Amen series, and it's created by Canton Biche. Oh, I love that smell. Really, really love that smell. So this is like early on when Canton was just getting his feet wet at Givaudan. I believe it might even be co-created by the OG Amen perfumer Jacques Huclier. And I'm wondering, it's got a bit of a smoky edge. And I don't recall Pure Tonka smelling that smoky. I don't know, but look at the bottom. That is Pure Tonka from Mugler. And it does say Terry Mugler on it. It's no longer, I mean, it's no longer saying that. It says Mugler on the bottom, or on the name. But that smells good. Even that smokiness is making it kind of like more of a toasted Tonka effect. So delicious. That was definitely one of the last few fragrances that Mugler launched. Ultra Zest, Crypto Mint, from the series, and then they went downhill. Anyway, those are all the fragrances, guys. So we had 51 fragrances in today's video. Let me know your thoughts on these fragrances. Are you a fan? Do you enjoy older classic fragrances? And which one do you want to see more of on the channel? So I did mention I will do a video on Thomas KOSMALA. And I can't remember what else I mentioned at the beginning of the video. I will do a video on the LAROCHE DRAKKAR BLEU, which I think is pretty disappointing, sadly. And maybe a few others, but there were some good fragrances here, surprisingly good. I'm surprised how good the Pierre Cardin is. I'm surprised how bad the Brut is. This Bulgari Pour Homme is so, so good. The Adventure by Davidoff smells good, but I think this is kind of weak. It smells great. I think in the heat it's going to be perfect. The vanilla musk. I'm surprised how delicious that smells. And I believe this came out in the 90s. It's so good. Even the Aqua Brava and the Aspen and this Cabaret. Once again, I'll let you guys know. I'll ask you guys. If you have a cap for this, let me know. I'll buy it off of you or something. And going back to the list, the BIGARADE Concentree is awesome. The MALLEN and GOETZ Strawberry. If you haven't bought this, you like molecular, musky, green, fruity fragrances, get it. The Dana TABU was really great. The OPIUM Pour Homme. Oh man, that is delicious. What else? The LOEWE Pour Homme was really good. The Trussardi Uomo was really, really great. The Anucci. Even the Lanvin. There was some good stuff here. There were some duds, for sure. There were some duds. Like the Roche femme fragrances, the female fragrances were all duds, I think. Bummer. Really, really bummer. Thankfully, they're not so expensive. The Lanvin Arpège EDP was pretty decent. The Dana CANOE was really, really disappointing. But let me know if you've enjoyed this haul video, long form, hardly any edits, and no titles and photos. Are you enjoying these kind of videos? This is the third one I've done so far. Really long form videos. And I'm going to tackle some houses very soon. Stay tuned for that. I already did Guerlain, by the way. If you haven't caught that video, please go catch it. It's all the Guerlain fragrances that I have in my collection, all in one video, 2 hours long. This one didn't turn out to be as long. It's 1 hour and 35 minutes, approximately, but there will be longer videos. I know some of you don't enjoy long videos, but a lot of you do. And I'm going to try and balance out my videos, regular videos, plus add on these long form videos. If you can't watch it all in one setting, watch up to a point and move on and come back and watch a bit more, or just skip around. There's timestamps in the videos. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching today's haul video. Do let me know what your thoughts are on the fragrances that I picked up today. Let me know if you wear them or have been wanting to wear them. Let me know also which of the fragrances you want to hear about. Also add a comment below. Anyway, appreciate. As I said, if you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. All right, I'm just going to add a few little extra things at the end of this video because I forgot this one fragrance that I had also purchased. I know I'm buying quite a bit. Remember, I'm trying to build 10,000 bottles. Can I do that? I'm around 6,000. So this is something that I wanted to add to the collection. It was something popular during the 90s and I kept seeing it. And remember in the video I mentioned I used to work for, when I was very, very young, I used to work for a store called Kmart. And I think even though in the 90s I wasn't working for that store anymore, I did see this fragrance there because I did shop for certain things from that store, among many other stores I went to. But this is Coty's Raw Vanilla for Men. Are you guys familiar with it? I don't know when they discontinued this fragrance, but this is a 1.7 fluid ounce bottle. It is vintage, I believe. It's a cologne, it says, and it came unwrapped like this, and it is a splash bottle. It's not a spray bottle, sadly. But this was very popular in the 90s from what I remember. I never personally wore it, but I wanted to add to the collection. Here it is. I'm going to have to just do that and let you know my thoughts. I don't think this is in the best condition, sadly. Even though it's called Raw Vanilla, this is a lot fresher and spicier. And I'm not getting vanilla that I would associate with vanilla fragrances today. But there's a vanilla idea there, but it's spiced up and made totally masculine. So if you're looking for a masculine vanilla fragrance, this might be it for you, but I don't think you're going to be able to find this because I paid around, what did I pay? Around $90 for this. But it does say on the cover here, Raw Vanilla for Men, and you can see the vanilla beans there as well. The fresh organic power of the rainforest, captured in a fragrance for men. Rich vanilla, crisp leaves, teak, and bamboo create a unique environment of natural warmth and pure masculinity. I don't know why. I'm getting fougere vibes from this. It's interesting. I don't know if it's because of the bamboo, the teak, the crisp leaves. There's greenness here. And again, it's a syrupy experience, but it's not giving me, like, I've cooked plenty with vanilla and how it smells. And it doesn't give me that kind of a vanilla vibe. It doesn't smell like Spirituous Double Vanille and all those fragrances. This, to me, smells like almost like a fougere. Is there lavender in here? Crisp leaves. There's an herbal quality against the vanilla. But it's fun. It's a fun fragrance. Look at the back. I think this is discontinued. It does say Coty on the back, as you can see. I think I'm on a little kick to buy up a lot of discontinued Coty fragrances. One of the ones I'm really looking forward to buying is Emerald. I don't think I can find that anymore. I believe that's discontinued as well. But glad to have this one in the collection. And I just wanted to add it at the end of this video. And also mention to you guys, we are almost out of Scent Club Kit 13. This is the kit. And this is Kit 13, as you can see right here. And we've got 3 samples in the kit. And I'll let you know the 3 different fragrances that are in this kit. If I can show you the photo right there. So we've got Tonka Hysteria from the house of D'Orsay. We have Cherry Punk Extrait from the house of Room 1015. And Jasmine White Leather from the house of Boho Boko. So if you don't know the 3 fragrances, I'm going to smell them on camera for you. But if you've been watching this channel, you probably heard me speak a lot about Tonka Hysteria. It was one of my favorite launches of last year. So it's a tonka bean focused fragrance, and it has syrupy ambery qualities. There's incense in here and pink pepper and spices. So it's a super delicious gourmand, but not sickly sweet, because the tonka is sweetened up, and I believe there's resins in here as well. So there's definitely an ambery effect. But man, it is so super sexy. It's super strong, intense, and gourmandesque, but it's not like, you know, cookies and cakes. It's more spicy and ambery, and definitely one of the best fragrances of last year. So that's the first fragrance that's in the kit, Tonka Hysteria. That's an extrait of Parfum. I believe all 3 of these fragrances are highly concentrated, because Cherry Punk Extrait is also the extrait, the Parfum edition of the OG fragrance. And it's cherries with leather. And it's a kind of dark leather. And it kind of tones down the cherried, boozy cherried effect. So if you like the idea of the cherries and thinking Lost Cherry, but you want something a bit more masculine, this is something you would do. Because eventually from the cherries, you go to a smoky, dark black leather. And again, it's definitely more masculine, but it's cherries in the end. You'll get the cherries like you get in something like Lost Cherry from the house of Tom Ford. But this was actually a really great alternative to something like Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. And the fact that it has the leather, it's a bit more edgy, but I wouldn't say this is like extremely edgy. The next fragrance is a bit more edgy. I'll let you know all about it. But this is Room 1015's Cherry Punk Extrait. That is the second fragrance in the kit. And then last but not least, it's Jasmine White Leather for a super sexy, very unique combination of leather and jasmine together. And some might say this leans a bit animalic. Oh man, it's good. It's super strong, super intense. All 3 of these fragrances are on the intense side, very, very long lasting. And this one's a bit daring. I really get the leather shop experience. There's a shop you walk into and there's a lot of different leather items. Maybe, for example, like a shoe store and nothing but shoes. Or you walk into a shoe repair shop and they're working on leather shoes. You get that idea, but again, it's meshed with all that jasmine Super fun fragrance. It's a bit punkish is what I should say. I envision somebody wearing a very strong scented leather jacket, like maybe a woman and who sprayed themselves with a bit of something jasmine-like, but it's awesome. So that's jasmine white leather from Boho Boko. And we don't have too many of these kits left, by the way. If you are in the market, get it before we completely run out of this kit. And yeah, 3 awesome fragrances. I was so grateful to be able to get these featured in one of our kits. We do have something new coming down the line. Stay tuned for that, and I will announce it for sure. But we do have, like I said, just a few more of these Scent Club kits, number 13 left. Get it before we completely run out. And that's it.